I believe we are actually ready to start. So for whoever just joined, welcome. This is Federica, part of the Docsity team, and we are connected with POLIMI Graduate School of Management. Today, we're going to talk about digital transformation. We are here to hear more about the masters and also answer all the questions that you might have. There will be a dedicated time for your question. Drop them into the chat, into the Q&A, and we will do our best to answer at the end of the presentation. It's now a pleasure to leave the floor to the professor, and will be our first speaker for today, and we look forward to receiving all of your questions. Professor, I leave you the floor.
Well, thank you very much then, Federica. Thank you all for attending this session. It's a great pleasure to be here and to be representing our POLIMI Graduate School of Management. Maybe you know our institution with the former name it used to have till just 2 weeks ago. So it's quite a fresh and recent rebranding that we had. And we used to call ourselves MIP. And now we would like to further communicate the connection between our university, our institution, Politecnico di Milano, based in Milan, Italy, and our overall School of Management that's also taking care of the postgraduate courses, programs, and masters like those that I'll be presenting today. So our POLIMI Graduate School of Management is based in Milan, and Milan is undoubtedly Italy's main business center. And it was born over 40 years ago within Politecnico di Milano, which is the largest and I would say most renowned, because of all of the rankings that I will refrain from quoting, but there are there, technical university in Italy. As a POLIMI Graduate School of Management, what we are is a non-for-profit consortium. So we are basically participated by the university itself, but also by a number of national and international large companies. And to some extent, this speaks for the attitude that we have towards the industry. We try to make the soundness coming from the academia converge with the practical implications and the practical contribution and impact that are characterizing the industry. So the combination of the academia, the university, and research with a practice coming from a plethora of different companies will basically converge and will animate all of our programs and courses. Then eventually, I would like to spend a couple of minutes in explaining not just our vision and mission, but also our purpose. I am a professor in strategy, entrepreneurship, and in digital transformation. So I really pay a lot of attention and care to orienting an organization strategy by defining a vision, what you believe the future will look like in a given industry or segment, or basically in your context, a reference. Then we have also to underscore and define a mission. And the mission is a specific strategic role that your organization aims at playing within the path that is set by the vision. So in the vision, you claim the world will evolve this way. We will be talking about digital transformation, and digital transformation is playing a major role in the evolution of a number of industries. Then in terms of mission, we need to identify who we want to be in that future. But then also the purpose really matters. And a purpose is your raison d'être. It's your reason why. It's the reason why you exist. And it's positive that you exist, not just because you have a financial or economic return, but mostly because you have a positive impact on the society, on the environment, and on the whole world. And basically, what we would like to instill in our candidates, in our participants, is exactly the need to find meaning and find purpose in their career. It's not just, let's say, greenwashing or digital washing. We're not just using this as a marketing keyword. The path that led us to understanding and realizing the importance of creating meaningful paths and patterns really somehow was not so straightforward. It took years, but eventually now we are and we have been revising and reshaping the syllabi of our courses. We changed the content and the approach in how we teach, because we want to make sure that when you embark in a program with us, you are starting a journey for yourself, but also to play a meaningful role in society and potentially to shape a better future for yourself, but I would say also the whole world. And we are indeed committed to inspire not just our partner companies, but also our participants in the courses towards entrepreneurship and innovation. These are, at least for what concerns the master I've been directing and I will briefly account for, we are really keen to stimulate entrepreneurship and innovation inside not just newly born companies like new ventures and startups, but also well-established companies. For instance, we will be discussing the very notion of a corporate entrepreneurship, which kind of helps well-established companies in reminding what it was like to be entrepreneurial. And we believe entrepreneurship and innovation are a key feature that enables let's say, the survival and then eventually the success, even for well-established incumbents. And in line with what I previously said concerning our school, we also really pay attention to the notion of sustainability. And as I said, it's not just greenwashing, so we're not just using that for marketing purposes, but we deeply revised and restructured our courses and programs in order to make sure that sustainability is part of it. And we are among the few business schools in the world. We are the first one in Europe to be certified as a B Corporation. And again, this is more than a label that we just expose. It required a significant restructuring of the way we give our courses, our lectures, the way we interact with partners, participants, but I would say the whole environment and the whole world. And as I mentioned before, as POLIMI Graduate School of Management, we are rooted into Politecnico di Milano. This is the largest technical university in Italy. It was founded more than 150 years ago. And it's made of an architecture campus, a design campus, and also an engineering campus. And we will try to get the most out of these three different branches in order to offer you, let's say, multifaceted experience in our courses. Okay, let's see if the slides proceed. Well, just a notion and a few information concerning our campuses. We have a couple of campuses in Milan, the historical one in Milan Bovisa, but now we also opened up another one in the city center, let's say, and we have several hubs in Italy, the main ones in Treviso, in the northern part of Italy, and then in Rome. And this is also accounting for our willingness to extend our reach throughout our country, but also abroad. And again, to say something about the school before entering in the discussion of the different masters and programs, we even achieved another significant, let's say, award and milestone. We are now a Triple Crown Graduate School of Management, which means that we obtained the three most important international accreditations: AACSB, AMBA, and AEFMD. And again, just a tiny fraction of business schools around the world can claim that they are Triple Crown. And this is not just good for marketing. It, again, is requiring a significant restructuring and revision of the way we organize and deliver courses. So there are multiple quality checks and quality controls, and this somehow should also represent a positive element for you as potential participants. So everything that you will encounter during classes has been, I wouldn't say double checked, but probably triple, quadruple checked, and eventually that will guarantee the highest levels of quality. And at the same time, we have a significant experience and expertise in digital learning. And that happened way before the unfortunate current situation of the global pandemic. But starting in 2014, we were farsighted enough to launch an executive MBA that was fully online. And that is not just about taking live classes, in-presence classes, and dragging them to the online channel. It required, again, re-editing and reformatting of the class content. Typically, those classes are different in the sense that they incorporate maybe some content as a video where you can be knowledgeable about some specific definitions and content, but then we add some shorter interactions, synchronous interactions like the one we just had, plus a number of other formats like video forums and live chats and so on and so forth. And thanks to this strategy, far-sighted strategy, in 2022, our international Flex Executive MBA, so the ones that taught fully online, received a significant recognition. It was ranked 11th in the MBA QS ranking, globally speaking, not just at a European level. And we can leverage a significant community of alumni, corporate, and also international partners. And if you join this very big family, you'll be part of this network, which of course allows you to get in touch with a number of colleagues of yours or would-be colleagues, a number of companies for placement. And our community is definitely a major asset for us. Then let's now deep dive into our masters, and let's have a specific focus on our offer on digital transformation. Why should you choose a master? Well, of course, it's good for your career, but again, it's a label, and we want to go beyond that. By means of a master with us, you can become a good manager, but also a good entrepreneur and a good innovator. It's not just about managing existing assets and resources, but it's also about creating original ones. And you will not simply learn things and stuff, which is good in itself, of course, but you will have the opportunity to be exposed to a plethora of different stimuli and be inspired by them. As I said, we have a huge community, and our classes are mostly based on action learning. So you will have some content plus some teamwork, plus maybe some workshops, guest speeches, and so on and so forth. And we hope that by means of taking part in our programs, you will have an active role and creating a better future for all. And for what concerns our international programs and specializing masters, like the ones that I'll briefly account for in the next slides, all of them are considered full-time, which means typically 5 days a week, 6 hours per day. Of course, you can receive more specific organizational indications and details later on by Alessandra and her colleagues. They're taught in English. They're based in Milan. The intake is fall 2022, so you still have some months, but again, if you want to make this decision, it's probably good to start reflecting carefully on it right now. And oops, maybe I don't know what happened, but okay, let me go back to this. The length is 12 months. There are university requirements, and the tuition fee is listed here. And eventually you will get a first level specialized master degree from our university, Politecnico di Milano. Then let's jump into the specific topics that I would like to discuss with you, with specific focus on the first one. That is the master I have the opportunity to direct. In general terms, we may claim that the topic of digital transformation is quite a cross-cutting phenomenon, right? You talk about digital virtually every day. Companies know that they have to innovate from a digital perspective. They have to transform themselves. But this digital thing is becoming a buzzword. And when buzzwords are there, it's not necessarily so good, because maybe even if you speak about something, you're not knowledgeable about it, and eventually you make a lot of mistakes. There's information asymmetry between those that are delivering digital technologies and those that are in need of buying and then implementing those digital technologies. And that knowledge gap needs to be filled. Otherwise, we enter the so-called market for lemon, as Akerlof used to call it. So basically, if we stop trusting digital technologies because we don't really know what they are about and what's their potential, so we eventually stop buying them, we stop also benefiting from their impact in our company. So let me get this straight and let me spoil somehow one of the major things I always say in my courses. Digital transformation is not merely a technological problem. Of course, digital transformation is triggered and enabled by digital innovation, but eventually it will be a theme, a topic for the organization to be managed from a strategic, entrepreneurial, and organizational viewpoint. If you aim at introducing technology in your company, you will need to think carefully of the strategic implications of it, but also of the entrepreneurial opportunities that are stemming from it, and of the organizational changes or transformations that should ring a lot of bells that you need to implement in order to be able to use those technologies right. And this is exactly the reason why, as POLIMI Graduate School of Management, we have a broad offer of courses and programs on the digital transformation topic. For what concerns this specific master, that I have the opportunity to direct, and also you'll have the opportunity to listen to some participants of our first edition that is closing in the next months. This master is called International Master in Digital Innovation and New Business Design. In the first edition, it was broadly called Digital Transformation, so International Master in Digital Transformation. But now we would like, and we wanted to reshape it a little bit to intercept the growing trend. So we know that digital transformation is going strong today, but there's a significant industry trend that we are intercepting here. And the trend is that we're entering the golden age of digital product management. More and more companies, I would say virtually all companies today, as they turn digital or their market turns digital, will need to either launch a brand new digital offer of products, services, and solutions, or will need to revise their existing offer and value proposition and related business model. So there will be a growing demand for digital innovation specialists, digital innovation and transformation consultants, but also digital product manager and digital service designers. People who are capable of understanding digital technologies from a strategic, entrepreneurial, and organizational viewpoint, and who are capable of designing new digital products, services, and solutions from a design perspective, but again, from a strategic perspective, and also, I would say, from a marketing and organizational viewpoint. So if you are interested in understanding digital transformation from these perspectives, this is probably the program for you. And then, of course, we have a number of companies we're partnering with. We're mentioning a few at the bottom of the slide, but we will certainly have more by the end of the year. And you'll have the opportunity to interact with company management during classes, but also to perform a project work with them. This is the learning journey that we have structured for you based on the experience that we had in the last years. We have some general management courses, so this may also tackle the question, what if I don't have a management or economic background? Can I attend this master anyway? The answer is yes, because it will fill the gaps in terms of strategy, strategic management, project management, innovation, organization, design, and marketing management, thanks to the general management courses at the very beginning. Then we have some core courses in the information technology side, but always consider that we are a business school, so we will consider technology in terms of business and management implications. And then we will have some vertical courses that allow us to learn more on the strategic side, the entrepreneurial side, and also the design side of new digital value propositions. That will be followed by project works that might also convert into internships in the companies that are partnering with the master, or that you may encounter along the way. As Alessandra and her colleagues will explain, there are plenty of opportunities also to get in touch with our broad network during the full-time year that you will spend with us. Then transversally, we'll have soft skills courses in leadership and management, and also workshops in shaping a better future for all to practice what we preach concerning purpose and sustainability. Another program that you may select refers to cybersecurity. This is basically considering how cybersecurity will be more and more relevant in the upcoming years, and maybe based on this course, you will be able to enter positions as cyber risk manager, cybersecurity architect, maybe, I would say, along your path, and after a few years, you might even get to the position of a chief information security officer. But again, this course is basically sharing a similar structure with the previous one. The clear difference is in the verticals, where in this courses in the learning journey, you will focus on cybersecurity matters. Another master belonging to the digital transformation family and briefly accounting for is this one on smart operations and industry 4.0. If you're more interested in the manufacturing and operations side, and you're aiming at entering the roles of operations production specialist, maintenance specialist, quality control specialist, R&D specialist, and maybe even along the way, chief operating officer, this master could be for you. Again, like the previous one, they are more vertical in cybersecurity, this one, Industry 4.0, and the last one, this is the learning journey. And again, the differences are in the vertical courses. The last one has a clear focus in e-commerce and sales management, where again, we know how e-commerce is going strong. And if you want to be an e-commerce manager, an online store manager, or web marketing manager, those are maybe the career roles that you may look for. All of these masters that I mentioned before are in partnership with a number of companies. And again, in this case, what we have is a learning journey that is building on general management and some transversal courses at the beginning in order eventually to select your vertical courses that are more relevant to you. So I would say that the last three I mentioned, the one on cybersecurity, the one on Industry 4.0 and smart manufacturing, this one on e-commerce, are more vertical. The first one provides you with a broader view on digital transformation, but also then with a specific aim and focus on how to design value propositions that are enabled by digital technologies. And as I said, the digital product manager is a role that now all companies aim at having. Now, as I basically accounted for the four main programs belonging to the digital transformation family that we are now offering at POLIMI Graduate School of Management, I'll be very happy to leave the floor to Alessandra so that we can also interact with our participants. And as I said, they are still in the process of completing their first master in the first edition of the Master in Digital Transformation. That's the one I have been directing so far. So it's a great pleasure for me. It has been a great pleasure for me to interact with you. I'll be staying in the conversation and in the session in case you have additional questions. And now I'm leaving the floor to Alessandra. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Professor Ghezzi, for this great presentation. So before moving on to the next slide on the Career Development Center, I would like to involve our students who are connected today. So I would like to ask Zainab and Stefano, in particular, why did you choose to study digital transformation as a topic, and why did you, of course, choose to study this topic at POLIMI Graduate School of Management? If you would like to share some insights. Zainab, yes, you can start.
Yes, sure. Okay. Sure, ladies first. Hi, everyone. My name is Zainab, and I chose to study digital transformation because I think everyone knows that it's on the tip of the tongue of every organization. It's a hot topic, but not only that, I have a huge passion within this area. I'm actually coming with some professional experience and predominantly in banking, and probably might be useful for some of you. I started with an economics background. So just to say that, you know, you can come from many different backgrounds and still opt for digital transformation as a topic if you found that passion a little bit later in the career or even just starting out. And yeah, I became very passionate about digital, and I was working actually within financial crime compliance within banking, and obviously with criminals also targeting, or let's say using digital methods to target victims more so often. It became a top topic in banking as well within the department I was working in. So for me, it was really the topic to study in depth, to talk about digital transformation. I felt that I needed to step out, take a career gap and study this master and complement my professional experience to take back into the work world, and hopefully with some improved career opportunities. And I can definitely say that POLIMI is a university that really lives and breathes the values of digital and innovation. And someone coming with professional experience, I can also validate and say that the topics that should be covered when it comes to this area, they're being covered and being spoken about. Thank you, Stefano.
Thank you, Zainab.
Hi everybody, I'm Stefano. So when I finished my bachelor, I was interested in a master in management, but I was also interested in something more specific on digital technologies and digital transformation. So I decided to take this path mainly because I was looking at the brochure and I really liked the courses. And plus, I did my bachelor in POLIMI in engineering, management engineering, and I knew how professional the professor were and the overall standards of the university. They are really high. So I decided to take this path.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Zainab, and thank you, Stefano. And I would also like to ask another question. Could you please maybe say something more about the classes that you're already attending, and maybe also regarding, let's say, the teaching approach? So we always say that the teaching approach is practical. So could you confirm this and maybe say something more about it? Zainab, if you would like to start.
Sure. I can take it, and then Stefano, if you want to add. So it's, to be honest, the teaching approach has been a mix of both practical and theoretical. And the beauty of studying at POLIMI is that there are great sponsors and backing in terms of the program. So there is real industry level knowledge being brought to the table. And then also it's being applied in practical ways through group work and certain business cases that you will be handed and expected to do. I can say that be ready for the hard work because it's intense, to say the least. You can have many business cases in many lessons and you only have the evening to do it. So be ready for the hard work, but it's absolutely an invaluable experience. And the teaching is great because you have a mix of professors coming from different backgrounds. Okay, a lot of engineering related professors, which is great because you still get the technical insight, but also the management strategic aspect that Professor Antonio Getzi earlier mentioned. So you have a balance of both, a bit of technical versus non-technical, and plus the theory and application of that theory as well.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of professor has a lot of experience. They work with companies, so they always bring some concrete examples. Most of the exams are teamwork with a final presentation. And overall, you have a lot of also workshop coming from companies. We had a visit to the manufacturing lab, and every course has a particular way of engaging with the students, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Thank you both. So let's say we can move to the next slide. So the Career Development Center. As Stefano and Zainab already know, we have a dedicated office, which is the Career Development Center, and our colleagues, so our career advisor as well, will help the students, of course, in meeting the companies, the managers. They organize also a lot of workshops related to the soft skills, as the professor already mentioned before. And of course, they will give you access to an online platform where companies and of course they will help the students to have the let's say the final interviews with the companies for the final project work. So Zainab and Stefano, would you like to add something about the career development program that we have and the maybe the companies that you met during your path and the final project work, which is
I think we lost for a second, Alessandra, but mainly yes, it's about the Career Development Center. So Zainab, if you want to give us an overview and tell us more about your experience.
Sure. Okay. Stefano will give a certain perspective, but I will also just introduce the Career Development Dedicated Service. They are actually fantastic because they really do a lot of hard work in ensuring that students are connected with the right companies in terms of career, particularly when it comes to the end and securing an internship or the projects themselves. For the project work or internship, you have the option. I just revealed Microsoft because it was in my mind. Actually, I am now working with Microsoft on a project. It's like the thesis at the end of the master, and it's very interesting in relation to digital healthcare. It's a solution, a platform that the company, or let's say the person we're working with, wants to scale up, and we're working in a group on this. So this is very exciting, and this is just one perspective. Stefano will give you the rest. And of course, we've had all the soft skills related courses that really develop you and give you the skills that you need to go into the workplace. And this is what differs from, I guess, some universities where you don't actually get the managerial leadership and also soft skills element to equip you with the right skills, not just technical, but also like to add.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So I opted for the internship type of final exam, and is during your internship you basically write down your master thesis. You have a tutor, and your tutor will help you in finding a topic related to the master, and the tutor will help you in every phase of the final thesis. And I'm currently doing this internship in a consulting firm, and it's really great because I'm actually doing a lot of stuff that I studied since a month ago. And yeah, it's I choose this master also because of the possibility to do an internship for the last part of the master.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Alessandra.
Yes, sorry for my connection. So thank you once again, Zainab and Stefano, for their insights. We can maybe move on, if I can move the slide. Okay, can you see the slide on the admission process? Perfect. So regarding the admission process, we can say that it's divided into 3 main parts. So the first step is the activation of the application. We have a dedicated platform, applyformasters.net, where you will need to fill out, let's say, a form with your personal information and upload some documents in order to activate your application, such as the CV, a motivational letter, at least 1 reference letter, the documents related your, let's say, previous studies, so the transcript and the degree, if you already have it, and an English certification, if already available, and an identity document as well. You will be able then to activate the application, paying the application fee of 100 euros on the platform. And as soon as we receive the activation of your candidature, we will contact you for the motivational interview. So you will need to, let's say, do this motivational interview, which is recorded actually, and of course will be in English. Then the interview will be evaluated, and we will send everything to the admission committee for the final evaluation of your admission. So also here, maybe I can ask Zainab and Stefano to add something. So do you remember your admission process? How was it? Was it smooth?
Yeah, it was really straightforward and overall easy. Yeah, I remember the motivational interview. It was recorded. You had, if I remember right, a couple of chances to redo your answer. So it was everything was really clear.
Same on my side. It was very smooth. There was a dedicated person I remember supporting. So it's not like you are alone as a student. You have the full kind of end-to-end support. And I remember any questions I had, I was supported fully. What I can just advise for the international students that are coming to Italy, and also outside of the European Union, is just to get ahead of the curve with anything to do with visa, etc., and to try and get that. I mean, POLIMI fully supports you, and they have an international students office which will fully support you with everything end to end. But to try and get ahead of the curve with those aspects, that will help you rather than making you feel a bit stressed and panicked. But otherwise, everything was largely smooth, and POLIMI does a lot of the work. And especially when actually I arrived in Italy, there was a dedicated meeting set up with me with the International Students Office, which was very reassuring for someone that's just come into a country for the very first time. So yeah, very positive experience.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot. Okay, let's move on to the financial aid. So as the professor mentioned before, the fee for the master is 18,500 euros, but the school offers some partial contribution. You can apply also for, let's say, more than one contribution, but the committee can award only, let's say, one contribution. There is an important contribution, which is the best alumni impact. The deadline is today, actually. So if you want to know more, you can, of course, find other details on our website as well. But of course, we and together with Docsity will share with you further details after the presentation. They're not cumulative, and they cover up to 5,000 euros of the fee. Okay, so I guess we finished the, let's say, the presentation. So I would like to thank once again our students and our professor. So Professor Ghezzi, thank you once again for the great presentation, and our students for their insight. And I leave the floor to Federica. I don't know if there are already some questions for us.
Yes, they are. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alessandra, and thank you all for the presentation. We actually received some questions. So one of the latest we just received is from Pamela, who's asking, what is the average age of students in these masters? And actually, this linked to another question, which I know the professor already answered, but maybe it's good also to specify if a work experience is mandatory in order to enroll into those programs.
Okay, Alessandra, let me know. Okay, maybe I can say a couple of things, and then you may supplement what I say. So first of all, thanks for the questions. Concerning the professional experience, since these are specializing masters that you may enroll in even after your bachelor or master of science, no specific professional experience is required. If you have it, that's great, but these specializing masters are open and quite flexible in terms of enrollment. So you don't need to consider that as a mandatory requirement somehow. And concerning the average age of the students, it actually changes slightly from one master to another. If I remember correctly, the average age in my master was around 26, 27 years old. This accounts for the fact that the largest share of participants were just exiting their university path and then eventually decided to enter the digital transformation program in order to know more about a timely and growing, a fast-growing topic, and then eventually reposition themselves in their careers just as fast. But also some example, and I would say Zainab is a great, excellent example of that, are present of students who had maybe some years of working experience and then eventually decided to take this opportunity to make a few steps ahead. Not just one, a few, I said, and I deliberately said it. So I guess that I addressed these two questions. Alessandra, if you want to step in and add something, please do.
Okay, no, actually you answered the questions perfectly. So I confirm that, of course, it depends year by year and on the master, but these programs are designed for fresh graduates or candidates with some years of work experience. So yes, the average age can be 25, 26 years old. I confirm. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Another question is regarding the employability. So Tommaso is asking us, what are the advantages of specializing in those topics? So we mentioned at the beginning of the presentation how important to address this topic, and what are the advantages, if you have any sort of statistics or just generally in terms of employability after graduating.
Well, again, I may break the ice. I would say that there's no better time to discuss digital transformation from this kind of angle. So with a specialized master, in the sense that digital transformation is a buzzword today. Everybody discussing digital, everybody mentioning digital, not everybody being knowledgeable about digital, which, as I said before, is kind of problematic because on the one hand, you have companies in desperate need of knowledge and resources and competencies and know-how related to digital. And on the other hand, you have a fragmented, fuzzy offer where everybody is claiming to be knowledgeable, but just a few people are. And I would say that getting a personal accreditation like the one that we can offer based on our status, but also based on our content, and I believe that our participants' intervention is speaking for the value of what we do. So having an accreditation from a renowned business school like ours, it can really speed up the process of being accepted for an internship or a stage, being hired, and then eventually make an impact. So concerning the topic, there's no better topic. And I'm not saying it because I'm into it, but I'm saying it because digital transformation is so cross-cutting and so pervasive that if you enter a company with this kind of hat and this kind of label, eventually you can discuss entrepreneurship, you can discuss innovation, but then you can discuss organizational features, you can discuss marketing. So it's basically entering the company from the front door on a topic that really matters, where there's a significantly big budget and where there's a very strong interest also from the C-levels, I would say. And the advantage of doing that with us is probably related to the slides I showed you, the community, the network, the experience, the combination between the faculty and the industry. So it would be the place to be. And again, I know this is a commercial presentation, so we're selling our value proposition to you. But at the same time, if you take a look at what we have been doing, at our track record, just take a look at our own profiles if you want to know whether we are trustworthy or not. Go check my LinkedIn account. Let's connect. And if you have other questions, let's also move the conversation there. I believe that we can prove that we are an institution that is really delivering a lot concerning these topics, and it's not just discussing them because it's trendy.
Actually, linked to this, I wanted to ask, maybe Stefan and also Zainab can tell us more about their experience. If you can tell us your actually what happened to you. I mean, do you believe that graduating into this master program actually help you maybe achieve a certain goal, or just in general gaining a different knowledge? So I don't know if Stefan would like to start, and then I'm going to ask.
Yeah, just the first point I would say is the brand of POLIMI, which is really strong, and students coming out of POLIMI or the business school of POLIMI never have problem in finding an internship or a job. And second, if you take a look at the different job offer on every job listing website, you will see some keywords that you also find in the courses that this master offer. So there is a direct link between what the market is asking and what this master is offering.
Thank you, Stefano. Zainab, is there anything else you wanted to add based on your experience?
Yeah, I can bring an international student's perspective. Definitely POLIMI as a brand is extremely strong, but also the topic itself. Like, I've come from Dubai and I will be returning soon, and already I'm receiving a lot of interest in terms of, like, I'm interviewing, and there's a lot of interest from consultancies and from spaces that I didn't expect before, and also actually cybersecurity as an area. So that just goes to show, like, when you're doing digital transformation, that even if you're not exactly clear on the direct route, there will be it can give you that advantage of specializing where you want. But my career hopefully will be much better, because I am now almost close to securing something. So for sure, it has been extremely beneficial, the program, the knowledge, and of course, when doing interviews, being able to, let's say, speak to the knowledge that you've gained in the master is extremely competitive advantage, I would say.
Perfect, thank you. We have a question from Carmelo. So he's asking about OCP courses, which I believe they are taught in Italian, but I'm just going to ask Alessandra if maybe on the website can find some more information.
The OCP courses, yes, they're part of our Management Academy portfolio, and we can share with Carmelo, correct?
Exactly.
The information via email.
Perfect. So Carmelo, we want to be, let's say, the main topic for today, but yes, your course is offered, and we're going to share with you maybe more details. If you want to leave into the chat your email address, then we can forward it to Alessandra and the team. Questions that is coming from Alessia. So is an Italian student, so asking if you also have courses taught in Italian on the same topic, and if for these English courses you need to pass an interview in order to be admitted, and how does it work and what you should prepare.
Okay, yes, actually we have 3 full-time masters taught in Italian, not on this specific topic, unfortunately. We cover energy management, quantitative finance, and HR strategy for the Italian courses. For the international masters, if you are Italian and you haven't studied in English during the bachelor or another master, you will need to provide an English certification. You can apply without the English certification and provide it later on before the start of the program. And let's say that we usually accept IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge Advanced, and TOEIC test.
Perfect. But actually wanted to ask one thing, and maybe the professor, but also Stefano can help us answer. Are there any benefits of studying those topics in English, in your experience or in your opinion?
Well, maybe I would let Zainab and Stefano, probably Stefano more than Zainab, address this question, and then maybe I can add. But Stefano, if you have something to say about this.
Well, yeah, the first benefit I would say is that you improve a lot in speaking in English, understanding it. Everything will be in English, every paper, and you will also learn business English, which is kind of another language. And of course, you will get to meet people from other countries and connect with different cultures, and this will make the experience 100% better, I would say.
Oh, thanks a lot, Stefano. I would definitely confirm what he said. Of course, it's a personal investment to learn an additional language. At the same time, I'm not a native English speaker myself. I've been practicing it since I was very, very young. But at the same time, I would see it as an enabler, like digital technologies are. I mean, by means of English, you can do a lot of things. It's not good in itself per se. Digital technologies are the same. By means of them, you can change your company, you can change your strategy. And with another tool like English, you can expand your opportunity spectrum. And also, I could say that digital transformation is such a cross-cutting and international phenomenon that if you can discuss that in English terms, it's probably easier for you to have more opportunities and to discuss with a broader range of partners, sponsors, and so on and so forth. So we also have something in Italian, but we believe that for a specialized master, the international reach could be definitely a plus.
Great, thank you. There are some Italians connected, but also international students, and we have the opportunity and the pleasure to have Zainab connected. So I wanted to ask, what was your experience as an international student in Milan? If there is anything that you'd like to share about the experience, but also if you have any tips for maybe someone who's planning into joining the course and moving to Milan.
Yeah, I can say that I love Italians. No, but actually it's a wonderful experience. I mean, if you're like me and you want to embrace a new culture, new ways of doing things, new language, absolutely, you should embrace that opportunity anywhere you go. Italy in particular is wonderful. Most people I've met are just really welcoming, warm-hearted, and as an international student, it can be quite daunting not having well, I've learned some Latin languages before, but I would really recommend for an international student to take up Italian. English is spoken, but I think it's another level of connection with the culture and the people of the country if you embrace the opportunity to learn. Saying that, even if you do not know the language, what I felt in Italy or living in Milan was everyone was always willing to meet you halfway. So if you know a few broken words in Italian, and then there's a few broken words in English, and you meet halfway and you get things done. So I really enjoyed my experience. And then Italy as a country is beautiful. It doesn't take you long to go places, or it's easy, quite well connected. So I recommend really embracing the opportunity of being in Italy. And this is what I can say so far. Of course, if there are any specific questions, you guys can put it in the chat box and I will answer.
Absolutely, yes, please drop all the questions into the chat box or the Q&A. Alessandra, we did mention about some services that the POLIMI Graduate School of Management offers to students. I wanted to ask for international students, also Italian students, if we can just briefly mention what sort of support they receive from the team and, you know, any sort of services that you provide?
Yeah, sure. So as we said, students are guided step by step since the application process. So you will have a dedicated recruiter to help you during the admission process. Then you will be guided by our international student office. So let's say with stuff related to visa, accommodation, enrollment in Politecnico di Milano. And then let's say you will also have a colleague from the program office that will help you with the calendar, the exams, and so on. And then, of course, you will have the support of our Career Development Center for the network with the companies, the interviews, and the final project work. But I don't know, maybe if Zainab and Stefano would like to add something on this.
If you maybe have used any of the services or any additional maybe services that you can name.
To be honest with you, I think the International Students Office was extremely useful for me. They were really hands-on when it came to the international students in terms of the support. Any questions you had, they were there to answer. They were also partnering, I believe, with Yes Milano. So different organizations to then try and improve and enhance the experience of students and also giving them opportunities to really make the most of their time here. So I didn't feel that I was lacking anything because my questions were answered, but also like the beauty of the courses, you also have native Italians living in Italy as well that are also studying with you. So and they were always helpful and supportive. There is always someone around. So whilst you have POLIMI supporting you through that journey, the initial journey, you will still have them to turn to, but then also you will form a network within POLIMI itself with the students, the professors, and people that are actually living in Italy to then, you know, help you a bit further. Oh, I just remembered, actually, there was a buddy assigned. So through the International Students Office, there's a buddy initiative. And you can opt into this initiative, which I found actually was really cool. I had a buddy assigned and he was actually in a different master. And he was very helpful, very informative, and I found that very useful. So I highly recommend that for any international student that's coming. And also you can practice some Italian if you wish as well.
That's actually great. Alessandro, is there any sort of deadline that students should be aware of? Is there any specific period where you actually accept application? And is there any sort of advice that you can give to someone who's actually interested into putting an application through for one of those programs?
Yes, well, actually, the applications are evaluated on a rolling basis. So we do not have a very specific deadline to activate the application, but for, let's say, European candidates, so Italian and European candidates, we always recommend to activate the application by the end of June. And for the non-European candidates by mid-June, because we will close the application as soon as the classes reach the capacity. So they usually do around June. So the very first step I recommend to let's say to do is to send us the CV. Because we are also available to schedule a dedicated info session and to guide you better, of course, through the application process as well. So you can send us your CV for a quick pre-assessment of your profile. And of course, then we will guide you step by step through the application process. So I confirm also that you can activate your application without an English certificate, and also if you haven't graduated yet.
Perfect. Professor, as you are the director of one of the masters that we presented, I wanted to ask if there is any tips that you feel like giving to students when it's coming down to, let's say, writing a motivational letter or cover letter in case it's needed, or what you're looking for in students.
Well, again, I don't want to sound too sugar-coated here, but we're really looking for not just knowledge of the topic or aspiration towards a given career path. We know that's the final goal, but we also are looking for some passion and some ambition that goes beyond having a personal career that's rewarding, that's leading to some personal wealth. The time we spent in redesigning also the school's purpose and mission helped us understanding that such reflection at an individual level is really relevant for you all, for the participants. And we really hope that when you think of the career pattern, not only you reflect on the final career, I want to become a chief digital officer in a large international company, but also you think of what happens in the journey and how you can become a better person and have an impact from a multi-dimensional perspective. To some extent, this is what we're looking for. Maybe less objective and career-oriented motivational letters and more passion and inspiration, or better, a combination of the two. This is my take.
That's great. It's actually great to hear from you because you probably see lots of different applications. So for whoever is, connected, make notes of this. Finally, I wanted to ask Stefano and Zainab, because I personally think it's a great plus to have you here with us today, because you actually can share with us your experience. So is there anything that you would advise, any sort of tips that you feel like giving to someone that could be you a year ago whenever you were thinking to start this journey? Anything that you think could be useful, or any sort of advice? Zainab, maybe we can start with you, and then I'm going to ask Stefan if there is anything he wanted to add.
I would say that go for it because you will not regret it. It's a topic that's widely discussed and spoken about and in demand, which is the key thing. If you have the passion and it's something that you are interested in, I highly recommend taking
I think we lost a little.
And also to do the wider reading and making the maximum use of the time in the classes with the professors and the workshops with the companies. Sorry.
No,
yeah.
Okay, now.
So
now.
Yeah, making the most of your time in the classes with the professors, sources available, especially the career developers as well. But as a topic, you will not regret if you have the passion. The career journey will not be will not fall short. You will have interest from all over the place once you graduate with a master in this topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Zainab. And Stefano, any sort of tips that you want to share?
Yeah, despite the fact that the master I think is flexible, meaning that you can attend from home, from remote or in class, I would suggest to attend in class because it's a complete different experience. You get to talk with the professor during the breaks. You have you engage more with your classmates, and overall it is easier to start a discussion during the lectures, which is one of the thing that I like the most of the classes. Just to start a discussion with the professor, the classmates, and yeah, attend in presence.
Thank you. So we're coming towards the end of our online presentation, and I wanted to thank our speakers. I want to thank you, Professor Alessandra and Stefan and Zainab, for being connected with us. One thing that I wanted to add is, as you can see, the team is very much approachable. And if you do have any sort of question, feel free to reach out. We're going to send you an email after the event. We will indicate an email address that you can reach out in case you have any further questions, because there might be a question that you didn't have the chance to ask today, or maybe it actually arise after the event. It is absolutely normal, and make sure that you actually reach out so the team can actually help you finding out if this could be the right program for you, and actually address you to what could be the best specializing master for you, for your personal growth, and also for the career development. And actually, Zainab actually just said, happy to connect. Also, the professor mentioned it, LinkedIn, or, they're very much approachable. So feel free to drop a message, and also, to have a personal conversation if you have any further question about their experience or about the masters and the digital transformation topic. So I wanted to thank the speakers and all of you for staying connected. We will follow up with an email over the next few days. We recorded the session, so in case you want to rewatch it and you miss some of the details, or you want to rewatch the presentation, you'll be able to do so. So thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you soon then. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Federica. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.